Here are some things you might not have known about Palpatine. You might have known them, but that's the beauty of this video. So Palpatine's first name is Sheev. It isn't nearly as menacing as Emperor. Palpatine does have a first name. Sheev was introduced in the novel Tarkin by James Luceno, published in 2014. Fans think this name is pretty silly, as with many things in Star Wars, the little piece of lore is more famous as a meme, but it's also not that much weirder than the other more obscure names in the prequels. I couldn't really think of any examples, so Eth is one of them. It also has a double E. Palpatine comes from Naboo is the next fact. The Emperor always plays the long game. Step 1 to galactic domination was leadership on his home planet of Naboo. As portrayed in The Phantom Menace, it's a planet of contrast. Inhuman citizens rest beside beautiful lakes and build elegant cities, as does the Gungan species underground, but humans and Gungans dislike one another and intensely divide up the planet. Palpatine gains enough trust in the Senate by manipulating events on Naboo to eventually be elected Chancellor of the Republic. Now onto Palpatine's lightsaber. His custom lightsaber was hidden in plain sight. When the Jedi Council tried to arrest Palpatine in his office, he was more than prepared. Palpatine had hidden his lightsaber inside one of the statues in his office, making it easy for him to retrieve it when the time came to fight the Jedi. Although he is seen using two identical lightsabers in the Clone Wars, in Revenge of the Sith it takes just one of them to take out a group of Jedi Masters, including Mace Windu, using Anakin's help. The lightsaber hilts look like what you might expect from a refined and corrupt senator, not necessarily from a dark side master. They gleam with smooth surfaces of silver and gold. Palpatine has a contingency plan for his own death. Along with the last-ditch attacks by the Empire, Palpatine also set up personal failsafes in case of his ultimate demise. The death of his physical body was even part of his dark plan. The Rise of Skywalker shows how Palpatine planned to live on by possessing another person. At first he planned to do this with Luke Skywalker, then Palpatine's own son, then Rey. Since he could access all the spirits of Sith Lords past and she could speak to the Force ghosts of Jedi Masters, corrupting her would put an end to the Jedi forever. To ensure he lived long enough to do that, Palpatine had to move his spirit into a clone body first. After Return of the Jedi, he lived in the care of Sith acolytes on Exegol. The body he wears in Rise of Skywalker is a clone form and an imperfect one of that. It began to decay and was unable to move on its own. In essence, while Palpatine's body didn't survive being thrown into the Death Star's reactor, his spirit could as long as there was a vessel for it. Palpatine's plans for the Empire. In the canon Aftermath novel trilogy, it was also revealed that the Emperor had a plan to cull weakness from the Empire after his own death. He would draw the Empire and its foes into a battle on the planet Jakku and then destroy the planet, taking out the weakest fighters and leaving the stronger to rule the new Empire. The first part of the contingency plan was Operation Cinder. Carried out immediately after the Battle of Endor, it was the order for Imperial forces to destroy key planets using deadly satellites. The target included Palpatine's own homeworld of Naboo and the Imperial loyalist world of Vardos, among others. He communicated with key commanders through droids wearing red robes and displaying holograms of his face as if he was still alive. Now, Palpatine actually had a son, and he was a clone who couldn't use the Force. Like Luke Skywalker learning Darth Vader was his father in Empire Strikes Back, The Rise of Skywalker also had a wild family reveal. Rey is Emperor Palpatine's granddaughter. The movie novelization explains more about this in Episode 9 itself, showing that Palpatine's son was actually a Strandcaster, a genetically modified clone. These clones are notoriously misshapen, but Palpatine Jr. seems to be healthy except for one big problem: he is not able to use the Force. Undoubtedly pushed away by his fathers, Jr. left Palpatine and married. He and his wife raised Rey from Palpatine and tried to hide her from him, thus leading to a solitary childhood on Jakku.